about Minnie Foster and her husband, and remember we learned that she murdered him at the end. Remember? So how do you feel about that? How do you sympathize for her, or do you feel like she should be guilty? She should be found guilty.
Honestly, in the situation, you could see that in certain circumstances that her husband could have made her days feel less um, like willing to live. So she reacted in a way where she just wanted to release her suffering. And well, a person can understand that because people don't like to go through pain for a severe amount of time.
So she was abused. So you can sympathize for her for killing her husband. Like you wouldn't go to the police and say, I know who killed him. No. So to go a little bit further on that, today's topic, we're going to discuss felony murder.
Okay, so we remember you stating how you tend to be unorganized in your notes. So while you're taking notes, when you're presented with two different perspectives, which in this case you are going to be, we want you to divide your paper in half. So you can mark it with a pencil or fold it, whatever works for you. And then as you're watching this video, we want you to listen to both perspectives and jot down notes, one side being the perspective that's for and one against. And then afterwards, we're going to discuss your thoughts and what you thought was important from the video.
I'm writing at the top.
If you want.
Okay, so this video is something on the topic on juveniles being tried as adults. So we're just gonna watch it real quick. Okay, so what was your question?
My question was, what is parole?
So parole is when an inmate can apply to reduce their sentencing. So let's say someone gets sentenced 10 years and they are in jail for good conduct and they've had good conduct, they can apply to have either their sentencing reduced and they leave jail. And if they are convicted for another felony, then they come back with no possibility of ever asking for parole again.
And do juveniles get parole if they were convicted of a serious crime?
So what do we learn from the video?
That they were sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in 2006, before 2006.
Before 2006. So let's think about this statement that was said in the beginning of the video, which was the sister of one of the inmates. She said, even if they did something horrible, that doesn't mean they aren't kids anymore. How does that quote make you feel, or what's your take on it?
I mean, anybody can do something horrible, even if like you're a young person, whatever. It's just how you were mentally brought up. And
has there been something like maybe last year? When you think about last year, you've done something silly or something that you shouldn't have been doing. That now, a little bit older, you know that it was wrong, or you see the danger in it. Yeah.
Of course not.
Of course. So now we are going to transition to answering some questions on the anticipation guide. Walla?
So we have this. We constructed this for you, and we want you to fill it out. And then after filling it out, we want you to discuss the reasoning behind
your answer. Your answer to anticipation guide questions. Can you share with us your answers? What did you roll? First, let's read number one together.
Number one says the felony murder statute only applies when the murder was not originally intended.
Okay, and what's your position on that? Do you agree or disagree?
And I agree.
You agree? Okay. Why do you agree with it? Is it you just a wild guess?
No.
You think?
No, because accidents can happen if you're not intending to
hurt someone.
Yeah. You shouldn't be in trouble for it.
Okay. Interesting. So now let's read number two.
Number two says felony murder rule cannot be applied to juveniles.
And where's your position on that?
I disagree.
So you disagree that juveniles cannot get the murder rule. Why do you think that?
Because when you're a kid or whatever, you just do a stupid mistake. Isn't not fully just get locked up for life for a
So
mistake.
now we're going to read this article from the New York Times. So it's titled, "If He Didn't Kill Anyone, Why Is It Murder?" So can you just begin reading for us?
Oh, Vanessa, you forgot to give him the highlighter so you can
Oh,
annotate.
yes. Here's the highlighter. We're going to annotate the text, but that's going to be after we read. So for now, we're just going to focus on reading.
Sacramento, late in the evening on January 27, 2004, 4 teenagers broke into an elderly neighbor's house in the Southern California town of Paris, looking for cash. One of them, Sean Khalifa, guarded the back door.
Learned that Sean Khalifa's how old?
He's 15.
15 years old. And how old are you?
15.
15. So imagine, can you even picture that? Imagine your life where if you committed a crime, what was it that what was going on?
He was breaking into a house. An elderly person slipped into the kitchen. No, an elderly person was seriously hurt, and he was slipping into the kitchen and stole some chocolate candies.
So something really silly and didn't really think about it.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. Oh, he wanted to be there. He went with his friends, but like peer pressure, right? Your friends are like, let's do this, and you're like, okay, let's go. But he didn't actually put his hands on him, right? But now he's serving 25 years to life. So imagine that you're 15, right? So the minimum sentence, what's 25 plus 15? 40. So he's gonna be 40 years old, where he could possibly have the opportunity to go on parole, right? So can you picture imagine right now your whole life will turn upside down, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So now what we want you to do is, with the highlighter, we want you to just highlight the 5 major points from the article that pretty much summarize the entire thing, okay?
Okay, Alex. So now we noticed that you have a lot of questions about the felony murder and about parole. So what we want you to do is get your phone out and search for 3 to 4 facts about this topic that you can share with us.